Happening now, we look into the legacy of a local artist and his iconic mural. And we hear from a small town in New York whose famous swan was stolen, then eaten. Plus, June 1st marks Pride Month. We speak to community members about the importance of pride.
Man, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Bronson Rasmussen. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, a Jamestown break-in involving a knife led to one being injured and another behind bars Wednesday afternoon. Officers with the Jamestown Police Department were dispatched to a north side address at around 4:30 p.m. Wednesday afternoon for a reported trespass. Upon arrival, officers found that 41-year-old Panama resident Margie Curry had allegedly broken into the residence and assaulted a victim with a knife, also violating an order of protection. Now, officers were able to locate Curry on the second floor of the home, and when attempting to take her into custody, Curry lashed out against the officers. Now, following a brief struggle, Curry was placed into custody with the help of Jamestown firefighters. Curry was transported to Jamestown City Jail, where she faces a slew of charges, including burglary, assault, and resisting arrest. It was also found that she has an outstanding warrant out of the city of Jamestown. Now, Curry is currently being held pending arraignment. A Jamestown man is behind bars after an August 2022 incident that led to a 23-year-old dying from dangerous drugs. On Wednesday, officers with the Cattaraugus Sheriff's Department executed a felony arrest warrant on a Broad Street extension in the city of Salamanca. Now, officers were able to locate and arrest 24-year-old Kyle Stilson at the residence. The warrant stemmed from an incident in August of 2022 where Stilson had allegedly sold a dangerous drug to one 23-year-old female, resulting in her death. After investigation, officers were able to get a warrant for Stilson's arrest. He was taken into custody and arraigned in the city of Olean Court and remanded to the Cattaraugus County Jail without bail. Well, the city of Dunkirk is calling on their residents to figure out how to spend $10 million to revitalize downtown Dunkirk. The city of Dunkirk will hold a workshop in 2 weeks to gather public input for downtown needs. Now, the city was nominated by the Western New York Regional Economic Development Council and selected by New York State to receive a $10 million award through the state's Downtown Revitalization Initiative, or DRI, allowing the city of Dunkirk to develop a plan to advance downtown revitalization. Now, projects that will receive funding are expected to transform the community and support the local economy. The 6-month planning process will be spearheaded by a local planning committee and representatives of local government community, organizations, local businesses, and residents. The first of 3 public workshop meetings will be held on Tuesday, June 13th from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Dunkirk Area High School cafeteria at 75 West 6th Street. Now, everyone is encouraged to attend and submit future ideas to revitalize downtown Dunkirk. In other news, a local artist responsible for a memorial mural in the town of Carroll, well, he's passed away. Now we look at the legacy that he has left behind. The Happy Face Barn marks the gateway into Frewsburg. Owned by Martin Gage, he enlisted the help of a local artist, Terry Travis Johnson, to paint the iconic mural. Now, the barn was moved from its Jamestown location to Frewsburg in 1906. Then, in 1982, Martin Gage had artist Travis Johnson paint a happy face on the side of the barn, similar to one that Gage had seen in the Midwest. In October of 2021, the Happy Face Barn was recognized by the Carroll Historical Society as a staple of Frewsburg, Travis's final paint job. Moving forward, those with the Historical Society hope that the Happy Face Barn smile will continue to be alive through the brush of another artist. Well, switching gears a little bit, we'll get out a check of our first weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Andrew Stevenson. And talking about smiling suns, it kind of looks like that out there, doesn't it?
Yep, the sunshine continues to smile brightly over the region. We start off with a live look from the Mill Creek Mall sky cam. Mostly sunny skies over Peach Street in Erie, Pennsylvania, and pretty much mostly sunny skies across much of the area. We do have an air quality alert for most of western New York, excluding Allegheny County, and that will go until 11 o'clock p.m. tonight. Now, an air quality alert is issued when ozone levels are higher than what they normally should be, and it's recommended that children, the elderly, and anyone who has health issues limit their time outside, as they might have issues due to the higher air quality ozone particles. Now, almanac for today, we made it to a high of 81 degrees yesterday in the city. Our low for today was 56. Our record's 95, the record high set back in 1934, the record low 33 set back in the year of 2001. So here's your first defense weather forecast to the rest of the afternoon. Another beautiful day out there, mostly sunny skies across the region. Highs today will range from the upper 70s close to Erie, close to 80 at the Lake Erie shoreline, to the mid to upper 80s well inland, and some areas might hit 90 degrees today well inland. So it's going to be feeling quite hot out there, and the dew points are a little bit higher, so it's also going to start to feel a little bit muggy out there. I'll have a look at that full forecast, including if there's any rain in the forecast, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Andrew, we'll see you then. As WNY News Now continues, we have a sad story from a small New York town where their beloved goose was stolen, then eaten on Memorial Day. And later, hurricane has begun in the U.S. We have the latest from weather officials. Stay with us as WNY News Now will be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on Channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. At Caitlin Armstrong.
Land has been quite the experience.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A disturbing story out of New York where a group of teens are accused of killing a mama swan that was later eaten on Memorial Day. Now the small town of Menlis is mourning the loss of its most recognizable mascot. Now Dale Elschenreiter reports.
Manlius police say the 3 teenagers jumped the fence here at the Swan Pond enclosure in between midnight and 3 a.m. on Memorial Day. Their investigation revealing the teenagers aged 16, 17, and 18 held down Faye while she was nesting and killed her on site.
Police believe the teenagers then stole the 4 baby swans and left with Faye. The boys then returned home with the swan, where according to authorities, the family ate the swan on Memorial Day. According to police, the teens thought that they were hunting and that Faye was not a swan, but a large duck.
They believed that it was just a very large duck. They did not know that it was a swan, and they did not know that it was not a wild animal that it was actually owned by the village Manleys.
Manly's police say that there is video of the teenagers committing the crime, but they're still trying to obtain a physical copy of that video for the investigation. The mayor of Manlius says the caretaker is taking care of the babies.
Right now, he's taking care of the 4 cygnets. He will take care of those probably for another 6 weeks because they're not ready to be put back into the pond yet to live on their own.
As for the father swan, Manny, his days at this pond will also be numbered. After losing a mate, he could become aggressive when the babies are reintroduced to the pond.
A biologist working with the swans will also work with local leaders on finding a new home for Manny. As for the teens, they face charges for trespassing, larceny, mischief, and conspiracy. Now, the 18-year-old was arraigned in court, while the 2 younger teens will be referred to family court.
For more than 100 years, that Swan Pond has served as a village landmark. While Governor Kathy Hochul highlights state budget impacts for SUNY campuses, our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein breaks down what the funding is looking like.
This is the place we take care of our students, give them whatever they need to thrive.
The state budget passed a few weeks ago includes over $1 billion for SUNY capital projects that intend to upgrade campus facilities. It also includes $163 million for operating aid and $75 million to help meet workforce needs. SUNY Chancellor John King says this year's budget is an opportunity to grow research and strengthen student support, including mental health services.
This really was a groundbreaking level of investment this year in SUNY, the largest operating aid increase in 20 years. We're excited about the future. We see it as a real vote of confidence in SUNY.
King also says the operating aid will help expand SUNY's internship opportunities. King says this summer they are funding 150 research internships, and the operating aid will allow SUNY to invest in 1,400 more internships.
Might be in the workplace, might be on campus through a research project, but we want all of our students to be prepared for success when they graduate.
The state funding will be divided among the 64 SUNY campuses. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania's Treasurer and House Republicans spoke about the importance of preparing for an economic downturn in this year's budget. Now, Treasury Secretary Stacey Garrity and Republicans say that Governor Josh Shapiro's proposed budget would drain both budgetary reserves and the Commonwealth's rainy day fund within 5 years. With that high interest rates and a large general fund balance, the Treasury increased its investment income to estimate for the current fiscal year to $437 million, which is about $432 million higher than anticipated. Now, Garrity says the $432 million needs to go straight to the rainy day fund.
Depositing all $432 million would lift us to slightly above the national median.
The average citizen knows the importance of saving and the benefits that it can bring. It's the same thing for a Commonwealth's financial health.
Now, the fiscal year 2023 and 2024 budget deadline is by the end of June. Republicans say that increasing the rainy day fund will be a focal point in their negotiations. Well, Atlantic hurricane season, it officially kicks off today. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has said that this year is going to be fairly typical, with a handful of storms that could become hurricanes. Though respected forecasters at the Colorado State are calling for a slightly below normal season. This year could be unpredictable, with El Nino potentially suppressing some hurricanes.
So we're expecting a busy season. 12 to 17 named storms of at least tropical storm strength or greater, 5 to 9 of those becoming hurricanes, and 1 to 4 of those becoming major hurricanes. So that raises the prospects for significant impacts. So that means that there are going to be hurricanes. A near normal season might sound good in comparison to some of the hurricane seasons we've had in the past few years. Think back to 2020, 2021. But there's nothing good about a near normal hurricane season in terms of activity.
Now there's also near record warm ocean temperatures, which fuel storms. Already the Hurricane Center is watching an area in the eastern Gulf of Mexico for tropical development. And really on this issue, no one can talk about it better than our Andrew Stevenson, which he's going to be doing right after the break.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
Is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, Channel 716.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Macker-mites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Currently in downtown Jamestown, we're under mostly sunny skies. Current conditions at the Jamestown Airport as of the noon hour, 77 degrees is the current temperature, and winds are calm out there, and the dew point currently is at 51. So we're starting to get into that noticeable category where we start noticing the humidity in the air. Well, as was talked about in that previous package before the break, today begins hurricane season, which runs from June 1st through November 30th, and this is NOAA's 2023 outlook in terms of hurricanes. They're projecting 12 to 17 storms to be named. On average, we have about 14 named storms a year. Of those 12 to 17, 5 to 9 of those are projected to become hurricanes. And on average, we get about 7 hurricanes in a year. And out of those 5 to 9 hurricanes, major hurricanes, 1 to 4 of them on average, you should get 3. And NOAA is about 70%, and they're 70% confident that these ranges will come to fruition. And again, this is subject to change, and El Nino could cut down on the hurricane outlook for the season. So this is just in general what NOAA is thinking for this hurricane season. Here's what's happening across the Northeast right now. High pressure continues to be in place. That's keeping our region dry, but high pressure is starting to weaken a little, and that's going to allow a weak cold front to move through the region later tomorrow night. The cold front's not going to bring much in the way of rain, but it will lower the temperatures a little. So let's time it on future scan. For the rest of the afternoon out there, partly mostly sunny skies through the afternoon. We'll go partly cloudy skies through the night tonight. Most of the day tomorrow, again, will once again begin to be dry with partly mostly sunny skies, but that cold front's going to begin to drop through the region tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, and that might touch off an isolated rain shower. If there is any rain showers that come from that cold front, it'll be found off to the east of us. Most of the area will stay dry. dry, and the cold front will continue to drop through the region on Saturday, again with an isolated shower. And temperatures will trend cooler heading into the weekend and into next week. Well, tonight is opening night for Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Again, I went too fast there, so let me go back. Tonight is opening night as they host the Olean Oilers. It's going to be an absolutely perfect game for baseball out there with partly to mostly sunny skies through the evening. Temperatures around 6:30 when the first pitch happens will be in the lower 80s and will drop through the 70s through the rest of the night. So hopefully we'll see you out there. It's going to be a great night for baseball. And now the extended forecast powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. Temperatures today and tomorrow will still be in the mid to upper 80s. But then that weak cold front moves through and we drop down to the upper 70s on Saturday. And we go down in the lower 70s for Sunday right on through next week. So if anything, we'll cool off from the cold front, but rain chances still look rather limited with only that 15 to 20% chance on Saturday, and again only about 20% chance through next week. So if you have any plants out there or just want to water the grass, you might want to break out the hose because it doesn't look like we have any meaningful rain anytime in the near future.
This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
Just into our newsroom, in an overwhelming bipartisan effort, the House has passed the debt ceiling legislation. Now, the agreement would lift the debt ceiling for 2 years and set spending limits on federal dollars. Now, the House passed the legislation on a 314 on a 117 vote, sending it over to the Senate. Now, Senators Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell agree that the legislation doesn't meet all of their demands, but they both want to move forward with the bill quickly to avert a default, which has never happened in U.S. history. We could expect the Senate to vote on this legislation as early as tomorrow. Now, our D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp, she did speak to House members on this stance on debt ceiling.
So we've gone from one party spending $2.7 trillion in 2 years to a discussion about actually reducing government spending. So I think the American people's decision to change the House has already yielded benefits for our country.
Any needless delay, any last-minute brinksmanship at this point would be an unacceptable risk. Moving quickly, working together to avoid default is the responsible and necessary thing to do. Nobody on either side thinks this agreement is perfect, that's for sure. Nobody got everything they wanted.
Multiple sources say that federal prosecutors have a recording from a meeting where former President Donald Trump admits to having classified documents. Now, the recording was made in a 2021 at Trump's Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey. Now, the document is reportedly about a potential attack on Iran. Sources say that Trump understood the document was classified and can't be heard saying he would like to share it, but was aware of his limitations to declassify it post-presidency. The attendees at the meeting did not have security clearances that would allow them access to such classified information. According to the same sources, Trump has previously stated that he declassified everything and denies any wrongdoing. The recording is described as an important piece of evidence in Special Counsel Jack Smith's investigation into the former president. While the rate of teenagers giving birth, it has fallen to a historic low. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention analyzed birth certificates and found over 3.5 million children were born last year. Experts say that data highlights an ongoing shift in the age of those giving birth. For instance, the teen birth rate has dropped to another record low in 2022, which is consistent since it has been falling for more than 3 decades. In the same year, the rates among Americans in their mid-30s and 40s having babies increased. In fact, the birth rate for those over 45 exceeded 1 birth per 1,000 population for the first time in more than a decade. The data shows the upward trend among those ages 40 to 44 having babies has continued since 1985. Well, coming up next, June 1st, it officially kicks off Pride Month. We talked to some local community members about the importance of Pride.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
On this episode of Lead and Lures, pro staffer and lethal lady Caitlin Armstrong takes out her big Ohio buck. Months of hard work, dedication, and scouting have led her to this moment. You're not going to want to miss this episode of Lead and Lures on Channel 716 Roku TV. And if you want to see more of Caitlin Armstrong, follow her on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
You know, hunting
Caitlin
on
Armstrong.
private land has been quite the experience.
3-on-3 basketball returns to Jamestown, New York this summer. Collaborative Children's Solutions and partners are hosting a Gus Macker tournament August 19th and 20th in Brooklyn Square. The streets will be packed with a festival atmosphere, bringing the youngest of our Mackermites up to the adult players who compete for the top prize in their divisions. Register online at Macker.com before July 31st. The Jamestown Macker will also include some specialty competitions, making it one of the best community events of the year.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
June 1st marks the beginning of Pride Month, a time dedicated to commemorate the LGBTQIA+ community. While for many this is a time of celebration, our Alyssa Wright talked to some who are using this month as a way to clear the air about what Pride really means.
There's a lot of things that are misunderstood about our community. Okay, I think Pride Month is very important to give us a platform to show those things, to be ourselves, to show, hey, we're not scary. There's no reason to, hate us.
They just want to be who they are. Like, they don't want to force you into anything. They don't want to force children into anything. They just want to be who they are. Gay couples, they want to be able to go out on the streets and hold hands or kiss like a regular couple does, and that's all they really want. They just want rights.
Community member Austin Carroll believes that queer representation in the media has no negative impact on viewers.
There wasn't legal marriage. It wasn't on TV. It wasn't anywhere.
Right.
So, and we still are gay.
We're allowing the world to know that we exist, and it's not about them and trying to show them that they can be queer. It's that these are things they're already going to struggle with. These are things that there are already gay kids. They're gay before you even know they know what gay means.
Despite fear and anxieties surrounding Pride Month, those within the community recognize its importance.
It's so much more than just a label, and I think that is part of that miscommunication with Pride, is that this is a label, everybody's jumping on the hype train. It's like, no, we need to take that time to learn yourself and love yourself and figure out who you are. Even if that changes 10 years down the road, whatever, life's a journey. Just ride it.
It's a scary time, but gotta try and stay positive on it and hope that the world will change its views eventually. Treat everybody like a human being, because that's what we are. We're just human.
Pride Month will last the duration of June, with some local events taking place throughout the month, such as Jamestown Pride Fest that will be held in downtown Jamestown. In Jamestown, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
All right, Alyssa, thank you. And coming up through this month, we will cover when the Pride Fest happens and give you an exact date and time and whatever happens in the city of Jamestown. But that's all the time that we have for you today. Remember, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. Be sure to download it for free today at the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. And we'll leave you with this live look from our studio. At least it's a nice day out there. We'll see you next time.